What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out, as it appears things are taking a turn for the worse in NYC with the Zoran Mamdani. His city now faces a $12 billion budget deficit, and all this guy has to offer up is a bunch of excuses, guys. I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's scoop.
Our next story involves the political storm in New York City. 4 weeks after he was sworn in, Mayor Mamdani gets down to the nitty-gritty. A deficit of $2 billion appeared in the weeks of his predecessor's final term, and now $10 billion swarming the upcoming budget. So how to pay for it? The mayor says higher taxes for anyone making more than $1 million a year, but what's the definition of a millionaire in New York City when the cost of some studio apartments here is $1 million bucks? A storm indeed. Here's NJ Burkett.
I will be blunt. New York City is facing a serious fiscal crisis.
Mayor Mamdani spoke directly to New Yorkers. The city, he said, faces an enormous $12 billion budget deficit.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis.
The mayor said City Hall will scrutinize city agencies and their spending, but he insists it will take more than that.
That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations, and it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
Mamdani repeated his campaign mantra, raising taxes by 2% on millionaires and raising the combined corporate tax rate to just over 22%. Critics in the city's business community insist that's a mistake.
Somebody looking to open a new business, start a new corporation, the next Amazon, is never going to make the choice to open in an environment where their 22% tax rate is. They're going to choose Florida, they're going to choose Texas, and that's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Any tax increase would have to be approved by the state legislature and signed by Governor Kathy Hochul.
We're not raising taxes in the state of New York. I'm not raising taxes for the sake of raising taxes. So he'll continue to say what he needs to say. I'll continue to say what I want to say. And you can report it any way you want.
But Mamdani believes he can persuade the governor and lawmakers. Cuts to essential services like the NYPD, he told us, are off the table.
Right now, we are not entertaining the idea of cuts. What we are talking about are savings and efficiencies that can be made, but not getting into the place where New Yorkers have to question whether essential quality services will be delivered to them. That will continue.
Mamdani blamed the deficit on former Mayor Eric Adams' negligent budgeting. But Adams claimed today he left $8 billion in reserves, suggesting the Mamdani administration doesn't know how to read a balance sheet.
All right, folks, so what do you know? It turns out that socialism does not work and is not compatible within the United States of America after all. We tried to warn these folks, but they just would not listen, had to see it for themselves. And now Mamdani, the mayor of NYC, is taking a zero accountability or ownership for his city's deficit, blaming it all on the prior administration with Mayor Eric Adams. But we all know that's not the case, and his only solution that he's offered up thus far is increasing the tax on the rich.
New York City is facing a serious fiscal crisis. There is a massive fiscal deficit in our city's budget to the tune of at least $12 billion. We did not arrive at this place by accident. This crisis has a name and a chief architect. In the words of the Jackson 5, it's as easy as ABC. This is the Adams budget crisis. The city is in a difficult position. We are also city is in a difficult position. We are also seeing a moment where the gross fiscal mismanagement has left New Yorkers with a bill the likes of which we have not seen in many, many years. And we have seen in the politics of the past that in moments such as these, we ask those with the least to bear the greatest burden. And we know that here in the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, that we can not only put our city back on firmer financial footing, but also build a stronger city for everyone if the top 1% of New Yorkers pay an additional 2% in income taxes. Recently, I actually had a New Yorker turn to me and self-identify as someone who would be taxed by this proposal. He said, you know, I'm a millionaire, and is it true that you want to raise taxes on me? And I said, it is true. And they said, well, I would leave. I said, I don't think you would. They said, why not? I said, because we're looking to raise income taxes on the top 1% by 2%. So for $1 million a year, that's an increase of $20,000 in taxes. And when I told them the amount, they realized that it wasn't enough to actually make them change where they would consider their residence.
Who knew that a guy that's never had a serious leadership job in his life would be bad at balancing a budget? I mean, we told you guys before you got into this that this task was too tall for Zohran Mamdani, but you guys all said everything would be free. And I thought Governor Kathy Hochul made it very abundantly clear that she's not willing to take the risk of New Yorkers, millionaire New Yorkers, fleeing the city because of increases on their tax. They don't want that. And I don't think they should be having to foot the bill, especially when we see the amount of illegals that are being covered underneath Mamdani's plan. Kathy Hochul, she said she was peeved by Mamdani's tax the rich demands, as he claims NYC faces a $12 billion budget hole. She says this is all a quote-unquote fabricated crisis.
So Mayor Mamdani has said that he doesn't think that wealthy people and corporations would actually leave if their taxes go up. Do you disagree with that?
It's not a gamble I want to take, because we're already down about $13 billion in revenues from people who did leave our state. And when asked, many of them do complain about the taxes in New York, something I'm trying to do something about.
I think it's finally safe to say that Mamdani will have to find other avenues in order to fill that hole in his city's budget, because Governor Kathy Hochul, she has remained the very same in her position since the very beginning. They will not be increasing the taxes on the rich. And honestly, I believe Zohran Mamdani would be in a more manageable position if he would stop constantly wasting services, wasting money on illegal residents, folks who aren't even paying a dime in taxes.
These are programs for every single New Yorker. These are not programs that are going to ask the immigration status of any one of the children. All of those children are New Yorkers. They should all be enrolled in pre-K and 3K, no matter where they were born or where they come from. And we are also proud to be a sanctuary city. What a sanctuary city means is that we have policies in place, policies that have existed for years in this city, that deny ICE agents access into schools, hospitals, city properties, or even the properties of city contractors, unless those ICE agents can present a judicial warrant signed by a judge. We know that the vast majority of the time, ICE agents are not presenting that kind of documentation. If they're presenting any documentation, it tends to be an administrative warrant, and oftentimes there isn't any documentation even provided.
Looks like instead of increasing the taxes on the rich, Mamdani ought to be looking at these social services programs and doing a full-scale audit on who's not supposed to be even in this country, because if he would stop catering to criminal illegal aliens, then he may be able to figure out how to fill that hole in his city's budget. And the same New Yorkers that voted Zohran Mamdani in are now the same ones waking up and realizing that his goals, his agenda is unachievable.
Ask and you shall receive. You have a current mayor, Mamdani, who doesn't know how to balance the city's budget. This is what you asked for. So, Mamdani, who are you going to tax? The higher income New Yorkers left. Who you have left? How about you donate your salaries, slash your administration down by more than half, cut down the staff in the city agencies, because New York City residents have fled. They left since the pandemic and have not returned. And, oh, wait, check this out. New York City and California, well, the entire state of New York and California, they're about to lose a total of 6 congressional seats. How you like them apples, right? This is all the doings of the Democratic Party. You can't blame the Republicans, because remember, each state has a one-party rule, right? So you guys are the majority. You are the one-party rule. And not only does this affect presidency elections, but it can also trickle down and affect state elections and city elections, local elections. So the more residents that you run out of your state and city, guys, your city and state is going to collapse. Who's going to foot the bill? How is your economy going to function? This is what you guys voted for. This is what you're going to get. I see dark days ahead for New York, and it's not going to be pretty.
And this is on Mamdani's watch, another major failure for his administration. New Yorkers are trashing him for the little trash that they have to walk through and see on the streets each and every day. So it turns out they're doing free buses for transportation, but no garbage truck for garbage pickup. At some point, free always collapses the system. And I want to flip over because the waste management service isn't the only crisis that New Yorkers are currently facing right now. They're now letting Mamdani absolutely have it because of the poor roadway cleanups after their first major snowstorm. Check out what they had to say. I'm going to have to filter it a little bit because they went in.
What is this? What the f? Oh, go across the other street. Oh, I can't because there's a huge fucking pile of snow and I can't cross the street on either side. So shout out to the upper baby, by the way, because this is the only way I'm getting through this. My son is not very comfortable in this. What is this? This is not a path for people to, what if I was in a wheelchair? What is this? The snow was 5 days ago. Figure it the fuck out.
If I had to grade the city on how well they did cleaning up the snow, I'd give them a 0. Should we do a texture check? Frozen solid. They cleaned up the snow like it's a small town. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh, we're just gonna like leave it here. There's not like many people here, you know? Yes. Good job. Good job, New York. Jesus. Bruh.
New York really said this is really all y'all need. They said y'all need this much space. And then guess what? It's gonna go right back into the snow. Watch. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet, y'all. Look. And I'm back into this for the next. Oh, God. You know, New York has jokes. And you be asking us all the time why we pissed the f off. This is why.
Definitely glad to see that New Yorkers are getting a kick out of this failure of Mamdani's. Once again, we're seeing that this guy was not fit from the jump street, and now he's simply showing us nothing has gotten better in NYC. But get this, Mamdani, he's still out here begging for even more money, saying, hey, donate to me.
Friends, I am once again asking for your donations. Not for me, for Claire Valdez. Claire is an assembly member, a Democratic Socialist, and a union organizer running for Congress in New York 7.
That's Greenpoint, Williamsburg, Bushwick, Ridgewood, Maspeth, Cypress Hills, East New York, a little bit of Fort Greene, a little bit of Bed-Stuy, Ridgewood,
Whoa,
downtown
you
Brooklyn.
just said Ridgewood twice.
Yeah, baby.
Wait, so I have a cue for you. What are you running on?
Unions for all, housing for all, Medicare for all.
I thought DC was only doing for some right now.
Nah, we're gonna do it all. We can't do it without you.
That's right. So I'm asking you to donate whatever you can to Claire. Where can they do that again?
ClaireValdezForCongress.com.
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 Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You heard the lady. Please donate to her. Please.
Please.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. And honestly, all I can do is shake my head because I am saddened to see what's now unfolding in NYC. And honestly, they can't say that they weren't warned. We tried to educate New Yorkers not to vote this guy in. Zoran Mamdani, someone who had never served in a leadership position and definitely not one of this magnitude ever in his life. Never worked a real job, but now he's the sitting mayor of NYC. I'm not even sure this guy can read or balance a city's budget. Now that we're looking at him blaming Mayor Eric Adams, his administration, for the deficit that his city now faces, but Mayor Eric Adams maybe left $1 billion. I'll give him $2 billion out of the $12 billion that Mamdani is currently looking at. And honestly, it starts with these social service programs. Mamdani's got to weed out the folks that are not in this country legally, folks that aren't paying into taxes. They're not putting into the pot, but they're taking out. That's where your gap starts. Right there, you're digging yourself in a hole. But Mamdani, he's standing on his word, his promises to make everything free. I would love to see how that's going to happen. These guys can't even, on a simple snowfall day, you can't get all the snow out of your city. And you got 5 days. You've seen residents say this is day 5 and the snow still hasn't been cleared. Sidewalks are barely walkable. Parents can't push strollers, and that's dangerous for not only the folks that are driving in the roadways, but also folks that are on the sidewalks. You can't get through. The heck, what if you are handicapped and you need to push your wheelchair? Well, looks like you have to stay in today because of Zohran Mamdani's lack of leadership. And the craziest part about this one is this is just the beginning. New York is in for a real treat, and we'll continue to follow any updates to come right here with your boy RetroStef, guys. But now's the time. I want you all to hop in the comment section and let me know what you guys are thinking on this one. Zohran Mamdani, is he living up to the hype, or is he panning out to be exactly who we initially thought he was going to be? Hop in the comment section, guys. Comments are open, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking. Also, make sure you guys, before you get out of here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this coming from your boy RetroStef, I'll catch you guys on the next week.